Well, here we are, the last chance qualifier, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, Garden of Terror is our first map in the best of 5 between the cats, the three-legged kind, and Surge Energy. So, we got a couple more best of 5s. We already had Group A, we had Group B, and obviously there's a couple of teams that just didn't make it. They couldn't qualify directly for the playoffs, but we are still gonna get 2 more teams that qualify for the playoffs here, and we'll see which ones that's going to be. So this is the last chance qualifier. We have in total, I believe, 8 teams in this one right now. We have 2 bracket phases, and we're gonna go through those slowly, steadily. Team Ash apparently also had a spot, but to my knowledge, they forfeited the spot. So there is already an opponent waiting in the next match for whoever takes it here. This is obviously Anniversary Cup, so if you have been living under a rock and you didn't catch up with any of the Heroes of the Storm events, then this is the 10-year Anniversary Cup for Heroes of the Storm. There's north of 3,000 euros of prize money on the line for the teams here, and this is all the top teams. We don't have any special draft rules or anything crazy happening in this one. No pre-bans. So this is just as vanilla a tournament as it can possibly get, with a group stage, and then we're heading into the playoffs. The cats have been looking generally pretty good. There were tons of upsets, by the way. There were some insane upsets. Some crazy stuff happened. So if you haven't checked out the groups yet, I would highly recommend that you do exactly that. But now as we're heading into game number 1 of this match, we have Junkrat banned out. Interestingly enough, we don't have any ban that targets Nano. And he immediately picks Chrome. They must have known that something like that would have happened. Surge Energy is either looking at this and saying like, you know what, we don't care, or they're oblivious. I think it's the first. It's pretty difficult to play on this level and be absolutely oblivious to what Nano can do with some of his heroes. So they are okay dealing with Chromie, and we get her as a first pick, as over on the red team side, we instantly get Rega and Blaze. So, with Rega and Blaze being locked in, we have obviously a little bit of an assist on Mercenary Camp clear and Minion Wave clear. We have Blaze, and then we get Trash Wing over on the left, and here we have Diablo. Now, there's obviously also a couple of things when you're looking, for example, over to ETC being banned out. Blizzard has now come in with another patch and has started to change things a little bit. Some of the talents have seen reworks, some have new functionalities. So we're clearly trying to shift the balance a bit, which I honestly think is good. So whoever the janitor is that currently still does some work on Heroes of the Storm, kudos. Getting semi-regular patches that just shift the balance slightly, make things interesting. Even with us not getting any actual content along the lines of, let's say, a new hero, for example, I actually still like that quite a lot. And by the way, I've pointed this out 100,000 times in the past because the topic keeps popping up in comments. We don't need new maps. We don't want new maps. Half the player base, more than half the player base that is out there, is already completely overwhelmed with the maps that we have and trying to figure out how the objective works. I mean, how many games do you see where people still don't understand how to bait a Punisher over a wall on Infernal Shrines, huh? It's insane. So what we need is the maps that are in the pool to make them better. So if you want to have like a different map rotation, that's totally fine. But Blizzard could definitely rebalance some of the maps that we have to make them more interesting. Even Towers of Doom, as I pointed out in recent videos, could see a couple of tweaks to make it even better. But when we're talking about something like Haunted Mines, you could try to fix it. Vault Sky, I definitely need some addressing. So I'm already happy with them giving us some balance stuff changes. But we could go to the maps that we have and try to fix those. I don't think we're going to see any actual content, new content here. Ragnaros in. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Ragnaros and Falstad on Garden of Terror. I have to admit, I didn't see the Ragnaros pick coming. Not something that you would expect in game number 1. More so maybe when you feel confident after taking a 1-0, 2-0 lead. But over on the red team side, after Mirrodin and Greyman have been picked, we're now going for the last choice. They obviously need more damage. They're going up against Chromie and Falstad here. And here comes Hanzo. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 1, Garden of Terror. The cats on the left in blue. Map number 1, Garden of Terror. Drag here on Falstad. We got twice on Diablo. Hireth on Ragnaros. Captain Rex on Brightwing. And we get Nano on Chromie. And over on the right side of the map, Surge Energy with Leppy on Muradin. We got Dion on Blaze, Nolo Parker on Hanzo, Atella on Rhaegar, and Bye-Bye is on Greymane. So, pretty good day so far, by the way. Weather is currently amazing in Spain, which is always welcome. And I had the last race before the summer break. In Spain, there's a bit of a break for 2 or 3 months where there's no real big races happening or no Grand Fondos either. At least not a lot. There's some, depending on where you go, if you go in the north, for example. But here in the area, they mainly pause because it just becomes too hot and nobody's running a lot of those. And obviously, people are also going on vacations. But so I had the last one today, and I don't have the official results yet, but it looks like I managed again to get into the top 10, which is honestly insane. Because in... talking about insane. Muradin! Yeah, he's a bit insane too. He died. Muradin is gone. But, as I was about to say, a top 10 result on today's race is a bit insane. It's not the biggest one. So, my 5th place at the official March of Valencia is way, way better. A top 10 here would be pretty crazy still, because today's event had only 130 kilometers, which is not a lot. In miles, God, what is that in miles? 80 miles maybe, 70, something along those lines. But the big thing is the elevation. 3,000 meters of elevation, which is nearly 10,000 feet. And again, as I keep pointing out, I'm more the sprinter or roller kind of guy, so not really somebody that is a dedicated climber. So for me to end up in a top 10 on an event like this is kind of bonkers. So yeah, very happy with that. Fantastic day too. Sunny. Organization was top notch, and there's absolutely nothing better, and I think people that ride bikes can agree on that, than roads that are closed for cycling events, and when you can descend an insane, like if you have a huge climb and then you can get the descent and you can use the entire road because you know there's no cars there, it's the dream. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, great day for me, and now we want some great Heroes of the Storm. Right. By the way, it's only halfway a great day for me, because I came home and then all of a sudden realized that one of my external hard drives, which also holds some of the files with all the recordings that I have from Heroes of the Storm, apparently crapped out, and now I have to try and fix that. And I'm panicking a little bit, so that hard drive all of a sudden not working anymore is a little bit on the weird side. I hope that the data at least can be saved. The drive didn't fall, no water got in, so nothing happened. But it has trouble getting recognized and trouble accessing any of the files. So that was the bad news. So it's a little bit of a mixed day. I think we're also going to get some mixed plays here, maybe. Muradin with the zoning Stormbolt. Zoning out Nano toward the right. And you know what? It worked perfectly. Nano had two choices. Eat the Stormbolt or dodge into the other direction. He decided to dodge, and, well, he died anyways. So nothing that he could really do here. So we have a kill on each side. I would still give the role of the favorites to the cats, just generally speaking. You just have more experience here. Ragnaros. I like Baby Rag. I kept saying already that what Blizzard really should do is, I would always have loved a couple of comics, you know, just show all of them in like a high school environment. High school Diablo. Just like stuffing nerds into locker rooms and stuff like that, into like these locker thingies, and then we already have Baby Ragnaros, and just imagine having skins for all of them. That would be hilarious. It would be amazing. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Greymane, what he has is Wizened Duelist on level 7. So Wizened Duelist in the house for some added damage. We're now looking. Oh, in the middle. Yeah, right wing gets out, but I think Heroes is dead again, and you know what? That's kill number 2 for Surge Energy. So they are slowly starting to get ahead here. And yeah, there comes the channel. Bam. Nobody has taken the first seed yet. Nobody really making a big play on any of this just yet. But Twice is already trying to get out here. If he doesn't want to die, then he needs to be twice as careful. Couldn't resist, I'm sorry. I think I have to apologize for that one, but it was there. Somebody had to do it. I sacrificed myself. About the same as Ragnaros. He sacrificed himself too. But I told you he needs to be twice as careful. And now he didn't. And now he's dead. The red team locking the kills in. At least one counter kill against Hanzo. But now they're coming in and take the fruit fly out. So Brightwing is dead as well. And that's that. By the way, talking about the fruit flies, I still gotta say, these electric mosquito zappers are the best thing in the world. I talked about it in one of the previous videos, and I think some people agreed in the comments as well and talked about it. But there is nothing more satisfying, just like setting this thing up somewhere, and then you read a book in the other corner of the room, and then every now and then you hear a bit like when a fly gets zapped and you're just sitting there and like like a minion from the Minion series. Banana! And you're just like giggling the entire time. But damn, what a fight. Ragnaros down. Rhaegar down. Now they're going for Chromie. 7 kills to 3. And there's level 10. Twice, not careful at all, is now getting murdered once more. I don't even know why they're fighting this heavily for one tribute. Surge energy is absolutely surging up in that battle and is totally destroying them. It's crazy. That's 9 kills to 3 now and more than a 1 level lead. So I understand this is kind of your tribute. It's on your side. But the fact alone that they just committed Sudoku over and over again, just YOLOing into this, sitting down on the floor, solving a math puzzle while they actually should pay some attention to what the opponent is doing, is absolutely bananas. They have their own level 10 now, finally. But I'm starting to be a little bit worried for the cats. This is not going to be an easy recovery. So, well, let's see. Chromie, after level 10, the dynamic oftentimes changes. The gap is bridgeable. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a seat that they took. It's not like they took out 3 forts or something like that. But, yeah. Next one is up at the top. So on the objective, I would say the red team is going to have the upper hand. Murden jumping out. No problem for him. And up at the top, Falstad is all alone right now. They left the bird alone. Draka is trying to defend. Having a little bit of a tough time here. So Ragnaros is coming in and is helping out. Not picking Lava Wave. Tim would be sad. Lost opportunity, obviously, to control the macro game. And Brightwing gets attacked again and murdered. Alright. So, with this, now, all the way up at the top. Let's see what we're now getting with level 13 talents for the red team. They obviously have an advantage here on this. Okay, Brightwing again in trouble. And here we go. So there's the next attack. Oh, the arrow of doom from the top. And that's a barbecue play. Ragnaros is dead again. That is the 4th time that Ragnaros has now fallen. Isn't he supposed to be like Omega powerful in World of Warcraft? World of Warcraft lore just was not adapted properly. I mean, come on. Ragnaros at this point is just an oversized minion. 4 kills against him already. All of his abilities sound absolutely amazing. But Sulfuras isn't smashing. The lava isn't waving. And yeah, even the molten core isn't melting anything. So there's the Garden Terrors. The red team, they are off to a fantastic start here. Glorious start, actually. So this should net them some structural damage. I'm not sure if they're going to take down too many forts, but this is really going to help. Of course, the added advantages. They have a level 13 talent that they can easily use here as well. And that's exactly what they're going to try and do. And yep, there it is. Ragnaros in the middle. Baby Rag is trying to defend here. Die, insect. And he's actually doing a good job. Bravo. But up at the top, that's where the real damage comes in. And you know what? I think this one is going to fall. Even if they save it, any kind of damage that's going to destroy it. And it was Archie the Archer that was coming in and taking the last final shot. Paid for it with his life, but he absolutely committed. He came in and just was like, alright, let's go. I got this. And if I die for it, then so be it. Oh, by the way, talking about it, If you guys haven't watched Andor yet, do yourself a favor and check it out. I keep talking about this. I tweeted about it too. The second season is awesome. It starts off a little bit slow. I'll give critics that. But it is so satisfying to finally see a Star Wars series again. Or just any kind of like Star Wars content that is well thought out. Is not just brain-dead garbage like Ahsoka was. With like, ooh, lightsaber, ooh, member berries. So, yeah, like, that trash isn't even Star Wars. It's just absolute trash and garbage and should just be decanonized immediately. But if you want to watch a really intelligent series, like, check out Andor. I cannot hype this one again. Everybody should watch this so that we get good content again in the future. And don't get overwhelmed with all of this crap that is, like, the later seasons of Mandalorian, Boba Fett, which was horrible. Like, I don't even know all of the series, honestly. Like, half of them I even dodged, but it was just all shit. So, again, Andor, totally worth watching. Check it out for yourself. Very, very satisfying. Also satisfying, at least for Falstad, is that he's able to do some serious damage thanks to his global up at the top. So, the blue team is obviously still heavily behind. They are 7 kills behind. But they are hoping to catch up on level 16 talents. And since they haven't lost too much on the first objective, they can do some pretty good moves, maybe. Yeah. They haven't lost too much around the objective, so now it's reset. There's no tributes, that was what I'm trying to say. So you have a little bit of breathing room. You don't have to YOLO in for the next tribute here. And this is actually the blue team already locking this one in. All the way up at the top right, they're trying to dominate the camps a little bit. If you look at the camp experience alone on the mercenary side, they're doubling what the blue team has. So they're heavily ahead on this. Now, down at the bottom of the map, in the meantime, we're still looking at Diablo angling for any kind of attack that he can muster. But, yeah, there's the jump again. Yeah, Chromie, able to get away. Awesome, and here comes the hit. Chromie goes down, and so does Greymane. And then Diablo comes in with a bam, massive slap on Rhaegar and just destroys him. So, Dion, he is one of the few survivors. Well, there's a trade at the end of the day, I guess, but it's still a 1 level gap between the teams, and now at the top, Ragnaros is the one that is starting to slowly take care of it. When it comes to the raw damage output, Hanzo's now at 31,000, Chromie is at 27k. Focus on Diablo again. Alright, Chromie is still dead, but they might still be able to get a kill here. Bunker saves Muradin for now. And he gets the cooldown and is able to jump out. Then again, Hanzo in trouble, he goes down. And Drake was so close to jump up the Muradin too. Decided against it, now they're going for Blaze. And he's running into the wrong direction. Yeah, he's dead as well. Oh, that was awesome. And now they're going for Muradin after all, and they chase him hard. And he dies too. That's 3 kills for Falstad. The birdie with a triple kill, and just like that, the experience advantage has nearly been negated. So that's exactly what they want in a situation like this. Good for them. That's also a second tribute, by the way. So there is momentum all of a sudden for the Cats. They didn't have a good early game. Not even in the slightest. Their early game was atrocious. Now, on the other hand, Sulfuras smash! And then the barbecue from Diablo. Nice. That one was solid. Very solid play here from Dibbles, and also, of course, the follow-up from Ragnaros. He came in with the Sulfura, stunned them out even longer after even slowed, and that is a double kill. And a staggered death, of course, too. You have 3 heroes about to come back, and then 2 more die, which means that, again, you are at a massive disadvantage in numbers, and this is being exploited by the Cats as we speak. Not only are they working towards an earlier level 20 talent, but they have destroyed the fort at the bottom of the map. They destroyed the one in the middle. Ragnaros is now taking care of the one top side. And this is even without the objective, which they are definitely going to get here, by the way. Anything else would shock me, because there's 6 seconds and travel time until the wolf pack is back. So this is Garden Terrors right here, right now, for the Cats, with a level 20 advantage that they're going to get any moment. Diablo is in the middle. He's gonna get some XP there, and there it is. That's all that they needed. So now they have some invisible friends. We have Ragnaros with a Submerge, which is gonna be cool. And we get the wind tunnel for Falstad. And they are pushing this now. Top side, Garden Terror's moving in, but they're aiming for the middle. Trying to get that in. And, well, off we go. That is looking solid. Very, very nice. But, at least in a moment, we will have level 20, and there it is, for the red team. Now, they won't be able to save the keep in the middle. Maybe they're going to be able to save the one at the bottom of the map, because the cats, they don't want to be done with all of that. Now, Ragnaros could even go into the mid lane and try and get Molten Core out there. Down at the bottom of the map, arrow, and it gets dodged. Chromie even going for her timeout. So, Wind Tunnel, Sulfuras, nice! What a combo! Wind Tunnel into Sulfuras, Greymane is dead, Hanzo is gone, 3 heroes are still remaining and they're getting chased hard, and here comes Ragnaros! Oh yeah! Comes in with a Molten Core, and it looks like we have a winner in game number 1. I don't think this can be beaten. 13 kills to 11 now. Surge Energy is about to lose the first map of the series, despite them having a pretty big lead initially. Full 5-man team wipe. And that's game. That's a victory. The Cats with a 1-0 in the best of 5 series. Nicely done. They take the victory, the W on Garden of Terror.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Aldrich Pass, map number 2. So, we got the lead for the Cats. They turned it around, but I gotta say, at least the beginning of the game was a bit nasty. I mean, Surge Energy played them to the wall, but they couldn't capitalize on this. They couldn't run with the advantage that they had, make the right decisions, and then defeat their opponent. So I guess that's something that's great for the Cats, but it's also something where Surge Energy should look at where they were and we're like, okay, what happened here? Like, why did we all of a sudden start losing the game? What should we have done instead? Because they were in a great spot. They were having experience. They had an early level 10. They got the objective. They did some damage with it. And obviously, as you scale into the late game, and once that you have level 10 abilities on both sides, there's always tools that it can use to really take an opponent down. But still, it shouldn't have happened that way. Zeratul gets banned this time. And we have the ban on ETC again. ETC again. He saw some love in the last patch. No ban on Chromie, no ban on Hanzo, so Nano can still take whatever he wants. And yeah. It seems like Surge Energy is actually just sitting there like, okay, let's run down the time on every single one of these. They actually go for an Anubarak first pick. Now, if you go Anubarak first here, that is immediately telling me basically 2 things. A, it's likely that they're going to try for an engage comp where they are hoping to follow up and blow a target up, if it's that high of a priority for them. B, Anubarak is one of the few tanks, actually the only tank, that can do really well on and around the objective and try to sneak it in by spawning a couple of beetles that distract the defenders. So they could try and do that. Then we got Blaze on the other side, plus Rhaegar. Captain Rex this time with the doggy for the burst heal. Are we gonna get some Malfurion Stukov follow-up for Surge Energy? Or what do they pair with Anubarak to lock the targets down? If it comes to the side layer, there's obviously plenty that you can do. Either you go for another stun follow-up, or you could throw Urel in the mix if you really want her. They go for Ana and for Greymane. So with Ana, you got the sleep darts, of course. So you can try and set things up with that. And then we have Greymane for damage again for them, with Hogger being banned out now. Surge Energy can still target Nano a bit on the damage dealers. So far we haven't seen anyone picked for the Cats, so there is a chance now that they are just coming in and saying, you know what, we don't want to deal with either Chromie or maybe Hanzo. Try and take those out. So that would be the moment to ban that. Unless there's something on the front line that they really don't like. And they don't like Falstad. They don't want to go up against the global here. Yeah, the Haga has not been picked. So we're not going to see him for the blue team. I guess there's this 1 in 1,000 games option of playing Blaze as the main tank in the Haga in side lane. Spoiler alert, not gonna happen here. But what are we getting for the team now? What is Nano getting? Let's just start with that. We get Nazebo and Garrosh. There's honestly a few picks coming in currently for the Cats where I'm looking at it and I'm like, are you trolling a little bit? Are you guys having a bit of fun? Seeing Ragnaros in game number 1 was already a bit off, and now we have Nazebo and Aldrich Pass. Don't get me wrong, you can pull that off. This is a map that oftentimes lasts into the late game, and Nazebo with good stacking can be an absolute menace there. But it's not really the heroes that I would expect from a team like the Cats to be picked in a situation like this. Chromie is taken away. We got Malthael for our double front line, so he's going to be the side laner for the team. There's lots of damage that they have. And a nano boost from Ana could also help Malthael out. And then on the left side, we still have Nano. Hanzo is open, so he could go for Hanzo if he wanted here. But we've seen... I mean, another mage for him would probably a bit too off, considering that they're already running with Nazebo. But time will tell. Map number 2, Aldrich Pass. We get Genji as the final pick for the blue team. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. The second map, we have Aldrich Pass, and on the left side, it is the Cats with Drakia on Blaze. We get Captain Rex on Rega, twice on Garrosh. Genji is played by Nano, and we got Nazebo played by Hirath. So, Widowmakers on level 1 goes for the spider build, at least initially. Leppy on Anubarak. We got Dion for the red team with Ana. Nolo Parker is playing Malthael. Bye-bye on Chromie, and Atea is playing Greymane in game number 2. So, early game on map number 1 was awesome for the red team, no doubts about it. They weren't able to hold on to it, so now there's another chance to put a point onto the board and tie this one up. Question is simply, can they pull that off? Yes, no, and I guess we'll see. So, right now, already a little bit of a skirmish happening over here in the middle. But there's the stun follow-up. Nicely done. Yeah, good stuff. And with that, obviously, now the push towards the bottom of the map. Trying to see if they can get a couple of minions over here. Now having Genji immediately starting to make his play again, looking to just annoy Anubarak as much as he possibly can, while Anub is hoping to anchor some of the plays on the side. We have the next camp about to be taken, well, the first camp actually. Both of the teams have already at least a side laner there. Rega will probably get a little bit of help, maybe not. Genji at the bottom might also need some. He's actually trying to harass Chromie even further. Now that Garrosh is coming in, yeah, they're just falling back, so no problem for them. But we'll keep our eye a bit on Nazebo as all of this continues and see what he can actually do as this all plays out. Because at the end of the day, Nazebo is currently in a situation where if he stacks well, he could rule the late game for the Cats. So that's one of the big ones. Rega doesn't want... Oh, talking about Nazebo. Well, Nazebo actually died in the middle of the map. So that's bad news. That is slowing his stacking down. Only 16 stacks currently on the baseline, 30 at least for a spider. But the early game, I don't want to say it's the same as in game number 1, that's definitely not the case yet, but first blood goes to Surge Energy, so they have, at least initially, a bit of a lead here and gaining momentum. Missing out on experience though. So in XP, they're currently falling a bit farther behind. We now have level 4 talents on both sides. It gives us also the debilitating dart here for Ana. Nazebo's still doing some work in the middle of the map. Toad builds, for example, can be absolutely insane when it just comes to raw structural damage. It's one of the reasons why this build keeps popping up a lot. We don't have it here. We get on level 4, by the way, the big voodoo now. So that's going to be a huge one for that baseline. Oh, that sleep dart. Nice. Good move by Garrosh. That was a very good save. Ana just nailing it with that sleep dart. and they had a kill opportunity here. They instantly tried to get the entire team on it, but yeah, Garrosh paid attention. Saved the day. So, great for him. Over on the right side, that's where we're now going to get the next camp. So they're starting to make a move for this. But the same is happening on the left by the blue team. Every single time that you see the camp coming off cooldown, you essentially want to have a hero already in place that can start to grab it. Up at the top, Twice is currently all alone. He's holding the experience until Blaze is back after his camp clear attempts here. Yeah, and Nubarak can now do exactly that. Spawn a couple of beetles and then try and go for the channel. They need to keep an eye on him. Which they of course do. Sleep down here. Okay, Chromie. Genji is just staying on Chromie. Nano, I mean, this is the thing, right? Nano is obviously an absolutely insane Chromie player. Has proven that in the previous game. Now like Greymane gets all of a sudden killed, so a pointer on the board for the cats. But with him playing a lot of Chromie, he also, of course, knows everything that she can do. And also knows where her weaknesses lie. So he's been just nibbling at her hit point pool continuously and just trying to play around her. And it's very annoying for the red team. And Nano's doing a fantastic job on this. Now, he played it pretty close a couple of times and had some trouble here. But now pressure on Ana in the back. As once again, they're going for the camp. They are about to lock it in, by the way. The cats are about to get the first objective of the game. And yep, they got it. So Nano needs to get out. Is able to escape. Nubarak with a stun. The double stun. And there's the kill. Genji goes down. 17 seconds. Yeah, the objective will be in by then, but Genji should be able to actually speed this up and then help the team out. But that was still a really nice turn by Surge Energy. Getting that kill on Genji was already worth a lot. Now the defense is going to have a bit of an easier time with Genji having the travel time first after he just respawned. We have 35 stacks for Nazeebo, by the way. So, yep. Completing his level 1 as well, and obviously building on the level 1 Spider Talent by picking up the Spirit of Arakir on 7. A little bit of damage on those walls. It's still the first objective of the game. We're only 5 minutes in, so it doesn't do that much yet. But they gain a bit of momentum, take a couple of walls out, and can start to apply pressure here, which is at the end of the day what they're hoping to do, of course. Now, 10,000 damage on Chromie. We got 14,000 on Genji. And thanks to the full rotation towards the top, they might even... the sleep dart. Not only that, but the healing from Ana saving Malthael here, but that was a close call. He nearly died. They are losing the fort at the top, though. So with the first objective, they still get one fort, which is already a win. So good for them. Able to take that one out. And now we have level 10 abilities in play. So, level 10 is kicking in. Genji is still sitting down at the bottom of the map. Half a level is still missing for the red team to get their own heroic abilities. Genji hasn't made a choice yet. I mean, traditionally you would expect X-Strike here. Don't think that we're going to see anything else. But this one is interesting. There's actually something, whenever you see Malthael with Ana, you have to immediately wonder if he might go for Tormented Souls, because the nano boost on him is amazing. There was one game that I can still vividly remember. It was a long time ago. But one team went for double support. They went for Ana plus Uther. Uther, I think, was doubling as a main tank at the time on Infernal Shrines, and they had Malthael. And whenever there was a shrine fight, Malthael would get a nano boost, and once the opponent was trying to stun him out, they put a Divine Shield on him. And Malthael just destroyed everything. They couldn't kill him, and he just abused the hell out of it. Now Greymane goes down again as we fight the next big battle here. Bunkers on the ground, but look at that. Greymane is not the only one. They're going for Malthael, and he is dead too. So that's 3 kills to 2 now. Nice double kill for the blue team, who's already ahead in experience and in structures. And now they can just continue that in the middle, trying to go for the next 4. And as a little bit of a side note, we have now 69 stacks for Nazeebo. Nice. He's on 69 stacks now. Blaze also died. Oof. Killed by Chromie down at the bottom of the map. Yep. Thought himself safe and was quickly abused of that notion. Chromie with a here and there. Alright. Happy for that. This is going to be cool. Trying to use that, I suppose, a little bit also against all the aggression that is coming from Genji currently. Yeah, and then on top of that, we still have our eye on Azebo, because he could be the linchpin in the late game. But with the second fort being destroyed, this is pretty big. 2 forts down, yeah, it's tough. That's not an easy one to deal with. Now, Nano over here. Genji is now also done with this quest. Still doing this thing with 20k damage to his name. He's top damage dealer in the game at this moment in time. But continuously just starting to pressure. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Trying to force mistakes that way. I mean, at the end of the day, if you have somebody that always just jumps on you, you're applying so much pressure that the opponent has a really tough time to set their plays up properly. So you're trying to force them into mistakes, and so far that has been working nicely for them. They have a level 13 talent advantage right now that they can also properly use here. With that, we have, for example, the tidal waves that are kicking in. Nazebo is now at 97 stacks, 99 kicking up to 100. And that's not too bad for him either. So it's not really an insane amount of stacks that he's currently getting here, but that's still pretty decent. That was also a cool move. Zombie wall used to make sure that the grunts don't move in and interrupt him on the channel, so they get the immediate lead. And there's the jet propulsion. There's the nano boost for Malthael. Yeah, I think he can get a kill here. Malthael, nope. They try and turn it on Rhaegar. 20 seconds, by the way, on the objective. Rhaegar with the Ancestral, and they save him, and Malthael is dead. There's also the ult from the Zebo that kicked in, of course. And Nubarak gets murdered. The reset on the Swift Strike. And this is just bad news now. This is still a level advantage for the Cats. They have another chance to get the next objective, and they already opened up the wall in the middle of the map on the keep. Yep. That's rough. And on top of the objective, they're trying to go for the boss too. They're trying to go for all the advantages right now. And why not? This is going to be revealed in a second, of course, but Anubarak isn't back yet, and they can't travel there in time. They also have the vision of too many of them. So this is boss plus objective, and Azebo is a happy stacker at the bottom of the map. Just stacking his level 1 Voodoo Ritual. Is only 65 away before he can get to the threshold that he would need on 20 to unleash the Wild Infection. So this is looking fantastic for the Cats in game number 2. Another quick stun. Garrosh still totally fine here. No problem for him. Malthael is dealing with Nazebo at the bottom of the map. But up here at the top, that's where you now have the objective coming in, the boss, and it's a kill against Malthael at the bot lane. Nazebo wins the solo, is able to push for the next fort, and they're going to get that bottom fort with ease. And Azebo, of course, with every single minion wave that approaches, is going to get more stacks as well for his baseline. The wall up here already destroyed. They hope for a kill, but Anubarak moves away. Genji is sitting in the middle and is about to take down the keep here, as up at the top this one takes damage too, and Nazebo is now breaking down the wall at the bottom of the map with the help of the objective. So this is one armor shield already removed, and as the red team is dealing with the top lane, everybody else is moving down to the bottom of the map in the hopes of doing even more damage here. And let's not forget, Surge Energy does not have a level 16 talent. They are still a talent behind, and this is 2 armor shields removed now. This is oftentimes the best, I mean, 2 armor shields removed, you can backdoor. It's just what it is. If you get all 3, you are in an even better position, but 2 armor shields gone is a disaster on this map. Now, Nazebo is trying to get away, and oh, he gets caught. Yep, that's a dead Witch Doctor. He's absolutely dead. He gets some spiders out, but he's fully surrounded. Ice blocks some, can maybe get extra damage in on the keep, but he is still falling. So that was a nice little maneuver by Surge Energy to get themselves an additional kill. They also have their level 16 talents now, but obviously they still need to deal with the boss at the bottom of the map. This one can take the core out. Normally when you're taking a boss, going for the core won't be able to do too much, for the very simple reason that normally those armor shields that the core has are just too powerful. But in this case, 2 have already been removed. So, yeah, you definitely need to pay some attention to this. Now, We got 23,000 damage for Chromie, 30,000 for Nazebo. And Nazebo is back in 5 seconds. So he's at 30,000 damage already. Already top damage in the game. That is without Vile Infection. He is still 35 stacks away from getting his quest completed. Only 1 level away from level 20. But if they want to play it safe, then Vile Infection is still going to be the pick. Now, we have seen level 20 upgrades for the Ravenous Spirit, of course. But I think here you would probably try and play that as safe as you possibly can. Just get Nazebo to a few additional minion waves and be done with it. But for now, Genji, he's still trying to take that top keep out. If they remove that armor shield as well, the situation would become even worse. And Genji's taking it. They have vision at the bottom of the map now. So Genji knows that he's all alone up there at the top. So he's waiting for the cooldown, but he is going to take this. It's going to take him a minute, but there it is. So that's all of the armor shields removed, and now the core is in real trouble. Genji is actually going for the core. He's just trying to take the core out. And honestly, look at how quickly this falls. Somebody has to go back. They're trying to go for the objective here. But Genji, he has actually a chance of finishing this. I mean, he is slowly taking it out. Nano is moving in, has it now down at half of its HP. The next minion wave is coming in too. And that fight over here is just raging on. Ana is down, Anubarak is down. Greymane moved back trying to save the core. So they immediately force the fight and they go for a triple kill as they take Malthel apart. So Malthel is gone too. Genji is still trying to do his thing over here. And this is starting to get a little bit disastrous. Nano is low, but everybody else is now coming, and Nano gets out. So they just go for the core. Chromie is dead. Greymane is the only survivor, and that is game. That is game number 2 in the bag for the Cats. 2-0 advantage, 5-man team wipe. And this leads us straight to match point number 1 for the blue team. GG. Game number 3, Dragonshire. So, match point number 1 for the Cats. They played with Ragnaros and won. They did the same thing with Nazebo. And I have my eyes on Hereth. Oh, they screwed up. Alright. We're gonna fix this, but they actually switched sides. So this is something that they are not supposed to do. And apparently somebody did not pay attention on the player side. So yeah, we have them now on the, like, again, they swapped sides. So over on the left side we now have Surge Energy and the Cats are over on the right. So now everything is fine here. But yeah, I think they don't have a whole lot of experience yet when we're talking about tournament setups, talking about Surge Energy. Because normally that's pretty standard by now. I mean, most of the teams that play a lot of tournaments, they are fully aware that they always have to keep the same side. But yeah, so just for you, we now have a little bit of a switch here. Just checking if you pay attention, I guess. Now, as I was about to say, I have my eyes a little bit on what Hereth... I was about to say, now I'm going to have my eyes on what Hereth is going to pick now, because after Ragnaros and Nazebo being played in game number 1, game number 2, I expected some other pocket pick to come out. And now, all of a sudden, we have Probius that gets first picked by the Cats. Now, to be fair, this is not the first time that Nano has done that. And there might be a little bit of an aspect of, hey, we can get away with this here to the pick. But Nano has played a pretty mean Probius. So I don't want to chalk this off as them not respecting their opponent. It's just simply, you know, going for some YOLO picks and being like, haha, we can play Gaslo here. Nano has actually played some really strong games on Probius. And the Cats are kind of known for every now and then busting also Cho'Gall out, which they have now done. So, yep. Cho'Gall has been banned against them. And now we finally get to see him again. Let's see if they can make it work. But as crazy as these picks look right now, there is a little bit of thought behind the madness. So Cho'Gall in action is going to be awesome. And it's a pick that the Cats have in the past made plenty of times, to an extent where tons of teams have started to ban Cho'Gall against them. Something to point out here. Now, with ETC and Junkrat already banned, I would expect that now someone is banned that would be a direct counter to Cho'Gall, which leaves us with Greymane, with Leoric, maybe Malthael. Just trying to get something out of the way that would normally be picked against him. Leo, on the other hand, not really needed now that I'm thinking about it, because Blaze is already in, so you already have your side laner. And I suppose the Anubarak ban is more leading to a situation where they don't want Cho'Gall to be cocooned. Maiev could do the same thing with the disc. You get the Walmart 2-for-1 special if you go for a play like that. But, yep. This is going to be, it's going to be a wild one. Now, as we have the blue team here, they go for Oriel and Tyker. So I suppose we're going to get the bigger they are here on level 4. Which obviously works as well. And here comes Morales, the pocket heal, and Dehaka. So you have all of a sudden a global. You have Probius, you can push lanes pretty aggressively, and then you got Cho'Gall too, plus Morales, who theoretically could of course also go and play Medivac and then try and set them up for even more global plays. And then over on the blue team side, they still need their main tank. Dragonshire could be the final map on this one. Again, it is match point, and here comes Imperius. Ladies and gentlemen, Dragonshire, game number 3. On the left side this time, we have Surge Energy with Lepi on Oriel, Dion on Blaze, Nolo Parker with Imperius, Oteas playing Cassia, and we got Bye-Bye on Tychus for the blue team. Again, they gotta win 2 in a row now, just simply to force the 5th map. 3 in a row if they want to win the series. And there's no losers bracket here. If you lose here, you are out. The Cats on the right side coming in with Drak here on Gal. We got twice on Dehaka. We got Hireth on Cho, Nano on Probius, and Captain Rax is playing Morales. So, let's... Ooh, a full-on auto attack style for Tychus. Not just speccing into... Well, I still assume that he's going to spec into the bigger they are because of Cho'Gall, but he could also go for In the Rhythm on level 4. Normally, when you're seeing an auto attack style for him, In the Rhythm is actually very popular. So, we'll see if that's going to be a thing. But they definitely want to start and counter him as best as they can with this. And down at the bottom of the map is Donald's favorite pick. Doubt me? Think about it. Which race would Donald play in StarCraft?
I hate the Zerg. They're slimy. The Protoss are amazing. They're gold. I like gold. Gold is great. They're gold, and they have diamonds. Zerg are stupid. I'm gonna can rush them all. And they build walls. Tazla can build walls. I like Tazla. I play Protoss.
You know it's his favorite race, so yep, all the Protoss players, that's something that you definitely know now and can't not unknow. But, well, up at the top we now have Dehaka and he's doing his thing. But this is still going to be pretty wild. I mean, Cho'Gall again, it is a pick that the Cats have picked in the past quite a lot. But Probius in comparison, like, in addition to that, is just going to add more wave clear. And they're basically comboing off 2 drafts that we've seen from them in the past individually. So, yeah. We see you. Yeah, we see you too. And we got the Kalos Tide here. And Cho'Gall is already active in the middle. Dehaka at the top. I have to admit, I kind of like what they're doing here. You have at the top lane Dehaka. He's a global. You can always, you know, create a really nice situation for yourself if you're just like globaling down, create a bit of a numbers advantage maybe. Then on the other side, you have Probius. So you have on both lanes heroes that can push the lanes out and have really good wave clear. And then you have Cho'Gall as a bit of a roaming death squad with Morales as a pocket healer just doing his thing. So the theory behind all of this is definitely a bit sound. And as I said before, Cho'Gall has been played by the Cats to an extent where he even was banned in tons of drafts against them. Because they also like to be a little bit sneaky on level 20. They go for the death timer reduction and there's YOLO Cho'Gall into keeps on the other side of the map. The opponent has to try desperately in order to defend those keeps, and most of the time they're falling at some point. And thanks to the death timer reduction, you don't even get any advantage out of this, because by the time that you move to the other side of the map, Cho'Gall is already back to business, ready to defend. So we'll see if they use that strategy here. But it's definitely something that they could do here. Oh, and that's the kill. Yep, there's the kill as they are trying to steal their camp away. Successfully. By the way, here we have it. So the bigger they are, plus press the advantage. So you get the attack range increase. That makes it a little bit easier to get the entire bigger they are rotation through. Not sure if that was really needed. I mean, whenever the bigger they are kicks in, Shogal can use his own mobility to get out. It's more so a question of what happens when he gets stunned, impaled, or stunned by Imperius and Blaze. But in that case, you don't need the range increase. So in the rhythm could still have been a play here. But of course, again, you're going up against Shogal. You want to burn him down as quickly as possible. And then use Cassia as a finisher to take him on. So Dehaka is playing his 1v1 at the top lane. Probius down here, working diligently to push the lane out. We got now the Augur Rampage for Gal and the Enraged Regeneration for Joe. Well, they're trying for the probe. I hate Canrush too. Take him out, but Nano's still fine. And Cho'Gall goes into the Dragonite. That's a bit of a weird one. I mean, okay, they didn't have anybody else in that situation that could claim it. But you can already see where this is going. And there's a lot that has to be taken care of on the side lanes. And then the mid lane is just completely abandoned. Cho'Gall takes advantage of that. Now that means that you still have only... well, you traded a hero for a hero, I guess. And now you have two completely caught up there. But they are able to do work with this. And they nearly get a kill. And they can actually still use Gal and that's a triple kill. So you have, this is actually kind of funny, honestly. This is like the most insane Dragon Knight ever. You can still use Gal's abilities, and Cho is now a dragon. So they take the fort out. They got multiple kills. They got the kills at the bottom of the map as well. So now all of a sudden we're pushing for the second fort, and that's crazy. That's honestly insane how much they got out of the first objective. It's now 4 kills to 0. We are nearly on level 10 for the cats, and they're just crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. This is annoying as hell to deal with. I feel a little bit sad for the reindeer, by the way. That is a pretty fat ogre that's right on top of you. So if that is not back pain, then I don't know what is. Yeah, definitely needs a physio for that. But here come level 10 abilities. That gives us the Stim Drone. We have Hammer of Twilight, and we're getting the Twisted Nether. Oh, there's the heal! And can they get a kill? Oh, Cho'Gall is low, gets healed, and finally goes down. The blue team with a sign of life. And we even get the Combat Tactician right there. So even more cooldown reduction. Just really attempting to work around that. Even going Drill. Yep, they're going Drill and they're going Resurrect. Resurrect is in play, and we get the Drill for Tychus. The Oriel pick for Surge Energy was most likely also them trying to take Oriel away from the cats, who are happy to play with Morales, I suppose. But that was, of course, also an option. So now we have only a single fort still standing at the top of the map. And Morales, side lane Morales, flanking in with all of that damage and trying to eliminate the aura for now. Cho'Gall is already sitting here in the middle, by the way. Cho'Gall is just sitting tight and like, you gotta keep and I'm gonna take it out. It's level 11. Level 11 at this point, and they're already starting that kind of play. The entire 5-man is rotating in to take Cho'Gall on, and he just doesn't care and is able to zip away. As Probius takes one of the shrines, the second one gets claimed by Dehaka, and now they can move into the middle in an attempt to take Tychus and the Dragonite. Tychus is already dead. They're coming in with more damage. Cho'Gall, yep, they need to dodge the damage from Cassia a bit, but that's a 5. Well, it's technically a 4 versus 4, I suppose. If you go after the pictures, it's a 5 versus 4. And yep, they're trying to make anything possible happen here. But with the Resurrect, we have Tychus back to business. He is about to die again, though. So is Cho'Gall on the other hand. So, yep, that's a kill. And Morales is dead, too. So, just like that, 3 heroes are dead on the side of the cats. And only 1 is missing for Surge Energy. Without Resurrect, they wouldn't have been able to turn this one around. So, that was a big one. At the bottom of the map, though, we have them still fighting for control over the shrine. So, they're going to try and claim this. Molten Block is now in, and we got the aggressive Matrix. And obviously, over here, still attempting to interrupt, buy a little bit of time, get Morales back, get Shogal back. And you know what? They pull it off. They got both of them back to business. Now the chance to see what they can do in the next team fight. Who's taking the next Dragon Knight? By the way, Tychus is fully speccing into this, but now also that's the stuff. I mean, he went drill, so duh. 17,000 damage for him for now. Probius, by the way, is the top hero damage in the game. Gal is second, but still, Probius on 24,000 damage right now. Just saying. And we even seen solo kills from Nano. But I'm telling you, what's going to happen once that we have level 20 is they're going to go for the death timer reduction and they're just going to YOLO into keeps. If it comes to that. So, yeah. Oriel is already getting attacked a little bit. Here's the ult again from Morales. Don't really think that they're going to do too much here. But obviously also able to just use the mobility and get out if needed. It's a bit of a wild one. 6 kills to 5. Level 16. Close. Obviously, teams still looking to see if they're gonna grab another thing here, another shrine, maybe the objective itself. Blaze is taking over at the top, no control down at the bottom of the map. So it's Probius that is starting to slowly take it. Also has to deal with the siege chance, of course, that were previously taken by Surge Energy. And they are centering more and more around that bot lane, but obviously you have the Haka at the top. So having the global on your team is really helping with that control. And Shogal is already headed into the middle again. And is not gonna get it. Probius, Nano was not willing to sacrifice himself for the objective. Where's the dedication? Seriously. Nano without any dedication here. That's just a little bit sad. Oh, Shogal again. Trying the kills here, moving in for Tychus, who is actually still alive. Has his level 13 talent right now, gets a lot of heals too. The Haka is dead, Blaze is at the top. So they had a really good fight at the bottom of the map and it did not work out for them at all. Drill value on top of it. Yeah, this is getting a little bit nasty. It's level 16 talents now for the Cats, but that was a bit of a surprise. And Blaze, he wants of course the objective. Nano is claiming the shrine at the bottom, but if they lose the position here, then they're also going to lose the Dragon Knight. So the heals are in, but Shogal has to be mega careful on this now. They're doing tons of damage on the other hand against the blue team, as you can see. Everybody is low, and Oriel just has no hope right now. So little that she can do there. We now have Martial Law, and we have Sizzling Attacks. That's big. Those are big, big talents against Shogal. So this is something where they can absolutely excel. But look how much structural damage is being done just continuously by the red team. Came in again. Take a tower down. Rotate into the middle. Unleash the next couple of attacks. And then start to back off. And might pay the price for it. They're paying a risky game. But I'm telling you, once that level 20 is in and they have their cooldown reduction, we're going to see even more of that than we already do. So there's the double control again. This is just 38,000 damage now for Gal. He's top dog. Has surpassed Probius. Good for him. They're going again for Tychus. I think Tychus is going to be able to get away here easily. He is much more of a threat now. And eventually he might even eclipse the damage output that we're getting from Shogal. Here's the ult once more. Stuns the Molten Block. Barely out. They're trying to get away from Tychus. Cassia though dies. Cassia dies. Oriel nearly... How does she still have hit points? She was basically dead. Now Tychus is gone. We got the Dragon Knight in again. Oriel is on the run still and gets killed. Probius with the triple kill. Morales is dead too. But look at Oriel here. Look how low she dropped. Probius absolutely insane. Gets 3 kills, has the top damage now as the Dragon Knight just goes for the next structures. Imperius is dead too. The Dragon Knight does not care. Gal is still doing work, and that is the first keep gone. And he's just going for the core as it seems. No, he's going for heroes. He doesn't care. He wants to take Cassia out as it seems. Cassia makes it. I'm not so sure that Shogal will. But Probius has more time at the bottom of the map, and that's exactly where we see Nano now. absolutely wrecking things. Going for more structures, exposing another keep, and doing the initial damage right there. And Shogun is just taking the camp. On the way back with basically no hit points left. Retreating here. And they're trying to poke once more. So already moving in slowly. There is a flank that could come their way though any moment now. Morales is back to business, but she still has a long way to go before she can help out here. Yep. Half a level until 20, and then that's where the real fun starts. Now already in trouble. And Dehaka, again, he still has his global mobility and is using it at the top now to push the last remaining fort of the blue team. Surge Energy is played to the wall. Oh, that hurts. Yeah. Imperious thought that he had the upper hand there, but far from it. Shogun though, a little bit low, but the grenade can't do anything. And there it is. Level 20 talents. And surprise, surprise, who would have thought the cooldown reduction... Oh no, actually. Yeah, there's the death timer reduction. Sorry, checked the wrong hero. Death timer reduction by 50%. Now we can YOLO completely. So, yeah, Twilight Frenzy, Hour of Twilight, and now it's just time to trade whenever they want to. It's gonna be really difficult for Surge Frenzy to do, sorry, Surge Energy to do anything here now. Depends a lot on where Cho'Gall dies, but him respawning this quickly is just insane. It's crazy. So they have one level. Top fort has fallen. There's 2 keeps still standing. Cho'Gall is now moving up towards the top. Blaze is there and now shows on the lane. And Cho'Gall is saying hello. Actually, he wants to go for the core. He doesn't even want to go for a keep. He just says like, I'm going to take the core out now. Shogun is on the core with Probius. Backdoor, baby. Let's go. I was thinking too small. They're going for the big hits here. It's actually hit by the core. 50%. Shogun is dead. Look at the death timer. Probius has done some damage, is moving back, but look at the death timer for Shogun. He's down at 25 seconds already. Even if they cross the map right now, what are they going to get? Nothing. Shogun is going to be back. That's 50% of your core. 50% of the core right there. Alright. That is just nasty stuff. That's just crazy. So, down at the bottom of the map, they're trying to at least steal a couple of these camps away. The objective could be claimed, will be claimed. The minion actually buying them a little bit of time, but it's not enough. This is Dragonite number 1 for Surge Energy. So, right now, Oriel is gone. Could revive, but Tychus, alright, Tychus is getting back. Good for him. Yeah, Oriel is resurrecting. And is just zipping away. Alright, Oriel is fine. Upgraded on 20 with light speed and is able to get out. Tychus with the bob and weave. Dragonite currently is doing nothing because guess what? They just went for the core again. They just don't care. There's the Molten Block. Core is down to 30. 30%, 20, 16% on the core. 14 and that's 6% with Probius finishing the game. GG, Surge Energy advances to the next round and the, sorry, Three-Legged Cats advance. Damn.